Hello, hello, hello. This is Priscilla with Scylla Travel coming at you live on a Saturday evening, 6 p.m. Charleston time. That's Eastern Standard Time in the US of A. So, today I wanted to talk about something that's an offshoot of last week's conversation. Last week, we talked about different destinations that will welcome United States citizens to come visit them as the tourist destinations reopen. So, as you know, we've been banned from the EU. The numbers are not looking good right now. So, hey, that's the breaks. So, there are a few countries that are opening their tourism and they haven't banned us yet. So I'm going to be positive. They have not banned us yet. Although there were like about 20 nations last week, 25 that I talked about. And one of them dropped off so far, and that was the Bahamas. So I'm going to do a little check here on my phone to make sure that I am streaming. And let us see. So bear with me. Just making sure so that the followers will be able to see. So, with the tech here, we got the laptop here, and then we got the phone over here. Got to make sure that I'm actually broadcasting. So on the computer, it says I'm broadcasting, but I have to make sure here on the mobile device. Yes. And it looks as though I am. So, let me introduce myself. I started out the gate just talking about destinations and stuff. So, my name's Priscilla, and I'm with Scylla Travel. I am a luxury travel agent, and I am in the Charleston, South Carolina area. I work with people to plan their dream vacation. I help you live the dream through travel. So, for those of you who are on Facebook, please, there's a link at the top that says StreamYard, grant StreamYard permission if you're going to comment, else I won't be able to see your comments in the windows on the laptop. So it's like, I got to multitask here. I'm over here on the phone, then I'm over here on the laptop, then over here in my presentation. Of course, I have one, right? Like I said, I'm like the PowerPoint queen. I'm old school. That's what we learned to do back in the day. So, on to today's topic. This is an offshoot of last week's topic, which was what destinations can we as U.S. citizens visit? Who's going to welcome us? So, we got a list of nations, right? Most of them Caribbean nations. And the Caribbean is fairly close to us here in the U.S. So, that's, a given. People want to go there. But there are some caveats. The caveats are that you have to have a COVID-19 test in order to enter. And this is a requirement before you even get there. So many of these places, they're like, okay, people, we want you to go to our website, do this health screening. And then before you get there, before you even think about coming, we need proof that you are not COVID positive. So to help us along with that, we need you to take a test within 72 hours or 48 of the time before you even get on your plane, before you get here, and upload it so that we can view the documentation and okay you to enter our country, right? So it's getting kind of, if I had a collar, I'd be like blowing in it because I'd be getting hot under the collar, right? So I'm like, okay, this is tricky, right? Because in order to do that, you have to take the test. You have to find a testing location that's not backed up because right now places are backlogged. So I'm checking over here again on the phone to see if anybody else is having issues here. It doesn't appear that anyone's having issues. So I'm going to continue on here. So some of the areas, like in my area right now, I'm in the Charleston, South Carolina area. So where before it didn't take very long to get a test, it does now. It takes between 8 to 10 days to get a test result if you go the standard way, right? So where does that leave you? How do I get a test? How? So they've got, like, CVS nationwide has some sort of contract to be a test collection point, and they do drive-through tests. So if you've noticed, your CVS lines, the pharmacy line is kind of long at those places where, they do the test collection. That's probably why. So, but still, it's taking quite a bit of time to get your test results back. So there is another option, and that is doing a home test kit. And it's not that hard. And it's to me, and I tried it, it's actually easier than doing the DNA test that I did. So just like we do our DNA test and we send for this kit, they send it to you. You have to spit in this tube, and it has to be a lot of spit in the tube. Just like gross me out as I was doing it. My daughter and I were doing it. We're like, like at the same time, but we're like, no, we need to do this, because get it in there, because this test costs like about $70. Then it was like about $70. You can get a discount, as a matter of fact. If you go to my Scylla Travel Facebook, there is a discount on getting a 23andMe DNA test, because we are planning on a trip in the end of 2021 going to Ghana. And wouldn't that be just so nice to have your DNA? I got mine. So back to this COVID-19 test. We might as well talk about it. We can't get away from it. So I'm going to share my screen here for a second, because I actually did like an unboxing earlier in the day, because we actually wanted to take the test. We didn't film that part, but we wanted to get it back into the mail. Okay, so hang on as I try to share my screen. Ta-da! Now let me actually turn the slideshow on. Come on, slideshow. It's taken a while. Okay, here we go. Okay, so you need a negative COVID-19 test to travel. How do I get one? Right? We talked about the nations where U.S. citizens can travel abroad, internationally. Here we go. It's about 16 nations. And the majority of these, with the exception of French Polynesia and United Arab Emirates, Rwanda, and let's see, all of them, as a matter of fact, all the rest are in the Caribbean. Puerto Rico is a U.S. protectorate, but it's still a Caribbean island, and it's very beautiful, I might add. So these are the nations that are, and in Puerto Rico's case, they're still considering themselves, they still have their own government, and they're like, in order to come here, we have rules, you got to take a test. So a lot of these islands are very small. Puerto Rico, and let's see, the Bahamas was taken off. I took them off because right after my broadcast last week, they closed the doors to United States citizens because the numbers began to go up. So they're going to do like a shutdown for like 2 weeks to try to get everything under control. So last year, it was the hurricane. I can't remember what the name of the hurricane was, but it was pretty bad there 2 years ago in Puerto Rico. And then a year ago or so, I think it was a year ago in the Bahamas, and it really did some damage over there. Yeah, it was last year. It did some damage there, and it took them quite some time to recoup. And they're saying, we can't afford to be overrun by this disease, so we don't have a choice. We want you here, but we can't take any chances, and they closed the doors. So these are the nearest places for us to visit, because right now the European Union are not allowing United States citizens into the country. However, you can if you are flying someplace and you need to change planes in Europe. Depending on what airport will depend on what their specific rules are. You will be allowed to fly there and change as long as your change is within 24 hours. And as long as you have a boarding pass for your connecting flight and and you do not leave the international area of the airport, but each one is different. So these are all the little roadblocks you gotta be able to navigate and landmines that you have to not step on, So that's a reason why you need a travel advisor. Okay, so will you need to take a COVID test to go to these places? Yes, you will. Yes, indeed. So what we did is we got an at-home self-collection kit by LabCorp. LabCorp is a company that's here in the Southeast in North Carolina, based there. And they're pretty big here in the Southeast. I'm sure they have other locations that they service, but they have actual labs here where lots of doctors' offices use them, and they came out with this self-collection kit. Now, they're not the only ones who have a self-collection kit. There's another company by the name of Everlywell, and they are out of Texas. I believe it's Austin, Texas, and they were actually the first company to come out of the gate with a self-collection kit, and that was back in March. They actually came up with this kit the end of March. And I believe it's a startup company, as a matter of fact. And they were pretty innovative. It's just that they were circumvented, or their test kits were circumvented by the government and redirected to medical personnel. So for quite some time, they didn't offer the at-home self kit. This is Everlywell I'm talking about. And now they are, but that sort of gave everybody else an opportunity to catch up. So LabCorp caught up. So I did a little unboxing today. Symptoms are so obscure in many cases. How do you know? It could be a cold, it could be allergies. You just don't know. I unboxed the kit today earlier. Do Pixel by LabCorp. Here's the box. So I'm going to open the box. And then later on this evening, I'm going to talk about it. But right now, I'm just opening the box. We ordered it, did a questionnaire online. This is what it looks like on the inside. You have to register it once you get it from FedEx. My daughter got one and I got one at the same time, but mine came before hers. So when I open the box, it's just some stuff. It tells you what the kit includes in it. The kit has a saline collection tube. Let's see if I can find it. Here it is. Saline collection tube. And it has a foam swab. Here it is. It has a biohazard specimen bag. I'm looking at this card. And where's the biohazard specimen bag? Here it is. Biohazard specimen bag. You put it in when you're done. And the registration card, because you got to register your test kit. The number's on the back. You got to register your test kit online once you get it, or else after a certain period of time, they'll render your test invalid. That protects it in case your test gets lost in the mail or something like that. And then they give you the FedEx return package. So my test came immediately. I got it. I put it in Thursday afternoon, got it yesterday. My daughter's, mind you, did hers first, and she got hers today. So I just wanted to do the unboxing of this COVID-19 test, the home kit by LabCorp, Pixel by LabCorp. Okay, so yeah, I did the unboxing this morning or this afternoon, and it was pretty simple. After we did the unboxing, I didn't want to do the test live, of course, but what we did do, oops, excuse me. But what we did do is, let's see, next slide. Okay, go back. Well, what we did do, didn't mean to do that. I tell you, it's always something different with these slides. So what we did do, I'm going to just go back to myself, just me. What we did do is today we took the test. So like I showed during the unboxing, the little swab, like a Q-tip and a little tube with saline in it. You unscrew the top, you do the swab of your nose, and then you stick it into the tube, seal it up, and you don't have to stick it up there so far that it touches your brain. So there was a little video that showed you how to do it. And we thought it was going to be more. I had to help my daughter, of course, but me having allergies my whole life, it wasn't hard for me to do it. You stick it up and on one nostril, you swirl the little Q-tip around several times at the edge of the nose, more on this side, while on the inside, not in the middle part, but on the outside, the outer edge of your nose, not all the way up here, but it's sort of here. And then you're just swirling around at least 3 times. And then you take the same Q-tip, and then you do on the other side, swirl it around several times, and you just pop it into the little tube, close it up, put it in the bio bag, and put it back in the purple box that it comes with, and you have your postage paid return label by FedEx. Then you call it in, which we called it in because they operate up until Saturday. Called our test kits in, left them on the front porch, and I believe FedEx already came and picked them up because my alarm system showed that someone was on the front porch not too long ago. So that was that. And then we'll see how quickly or how long it'll take them to do the test. So I don't know where this test is going. It might be, according to the label, it's going to Raleigh, North Carolina. So I don't know, depending on the lab's capacity and their backlog will determine how quick or how fat or how long it's going to take them to do it. So I'm hopefully keeping my fingers crossed that it won't take them that long, and then I can recommend the test. The only thing about it is that was strange is that, there are just so many different variables that you have to consider with these things, right? You're ordering it, you have to depend on UPS or FedEx to bring it. So FedEx brought my daughter's test a day later than mine. So there's actually no cost to it if you have health insurance. I believe as if you have health insurance. I have health insurance, so I just entered my health insurance in there. But I'm not sure if you are without health insurance, it'll still be free. I believe it's supposed to be subsidized by federal dollars. I believe so, not sure. But in any event, they ask you, there's a questionnaire, you go on there, and depending on if you've got some conditions that are considered to be risk factors, if you've been exposed to someone within the past 14 days, or you've been in a large gathering, it depends. It just seems like when you go to different sites, the questions are different. So you do have an opportunity to get one of these at-home kits, and you don't have to wait forever and a day in a line. Like, let's say that you're in an area where the numbers are pretty high, like where I am right now, the lines are longer and it's taking longer to get the test done. So I elected to try this test. So that's basically all I wanted to talk about today because it's relevant in light of the situation going on with travel being starting to ramp up again. Business travel is starting to ramp up again. Travel agents are like doing the travel, travel advisors and travel agents. They're the ones that are actually getting out there and doing the travel right now. Although you do have some brave people who are doing it, experienced travelers, but there just are a lot of things that you have to consider right now, because when you leave the country, things could change so quickly. You could be going somewhere and because everything is not quite open yet. And if you're a United States citizen, let's say you're changing somewhere, there might be an issue with you being able to enter that country because the rules change so much. So a lot of the African countries are beginning to reopen. I'm not seeing right now any restrictions towards United States citizens. They've just been down on lock completely. Now, Rwanda has opened their borders, and but they're asking for a COVID test, and Tanzania has. They've opened, but they haven't requested. They're not requesting a COVID test, but you've got to get there, right? So there are some countries, like the country we're planning to visit next year, Ghana. They haven't opened yet, but they're signaling that they are. So they've begun some repatriation flights, and they're starting some flights. They haven't opened to tourists yet, but thank God our trip isn't until next year, the end of next year at that, to give us an opportunity and everyone else an opportunity to get it together. And hopefully the U.S. will be able to rein it in, pull it in, please. So only thing I can say is wear your masks, do your distancing from people. When you sneeze, cover your face with your elbow, not your hand. That's defeating the purpose if you sneeze on your hand, and keep your distance. Wear your mask. I know there's a lot of drama going on with that, but hey, I am apolitical when it comes to my health. So we wear N95 masks, so we're able to acquire them from medical supply. They're not the same ones that the nurses and doctors wear, but they're close to it. They're good enough to be able to not only protect the person whose proximity I am in, but enough to protect me from someone else. They've got some of that filtration action going on because you just don't know who's got what these days. So this is Priscilla with Scylla Travel talking about COVID tests, how to get one, an option for you if it's taken a long time where you live to get one. You might want to consider doing an at-home test. I'll be updating you next week to see how soon or late the results come in. But the good part is I get to go online and see it, or I can just log in from my phone and see the results. So this is Priscilla with Scylla Travel signing off. And before I go, I'm just reminding you that we are still collecting names. Well, not collecting names. That's the old way of phrasing it. But I have a list for those who are interested in the Ghana trip. And the link is in this post. Get on the list because I'm still in the planning stages. Like I said, it's taken a little bit. I'm making some progress, but it's taking a little bit because, like I said, a lot of these countries in Africa, they're not open for tourism yet. So a lot of people are still working half days. So I'm working on that. If you're interested, get on the list as soon as I get the trip together, and any and all information regarding the trip, you'll be the first to know. So get on that list. And I also have another link in this post for my complete travel guide for international travel documents. And the documents that you need now, it also talks about tests. It also talks about some methods that you can use to make sure that you have them backed up just in case something goes wrong. COVID-19 has made everything go wrong. So there's a guide, the complete guide. It's also a link in this post. If you click on that link, you can get a download. You'll get an email if you fill out the form, and it'll go directly to you. So don't forget to share, and don't forget to like this broadcast. Share it. Don't forget to like it. I am also on Instagram. So I am Scylla Travel. If you go to Instagram, look for Scylla Travel. If you go to LinkedIn, I'm there as well, Scylla Travel, as well as here Facebook. I even have a YouTube channel, so I'll be uploading this video there shortly. But this is Priscilla with Scylla Travel signing off and wishing that you will have a great rest of your afternoon. Bye-bye.